Who is the person that you want to be? That is where confidence is born. This is something that is so simple and that I bang on about so much. Psychologically can be massively detrimental for you. You have this level of doubt and this level of contrast, such a difficult journey. That process is really powerful. My biggest piece of advice would be Hi everyone, welcome to another video. If you're new, my name is Joanna Wilson. Today we have a solo episode of Just Chat with Jay, and we are talking all about how to increase confidence. I've got 3 top tips and some things that you can do that are actionable with those top tips to help you increase your confidence. Now, confidence is something that I think over the last 3 or 4 years I've grown in massively in all areas of my life, and I think that it's something that people quite often desire to be able to increase. In an ideal scenario, people would want a really strong and solid confidence in various different areas of their life, be it their work, be it their hobbies, be it their relationships. I think having a level of confidence is obviously a massive positive, and there are many different ways that people can build confidence, and I think confidence itself looks different to a lot of different people. The thing about all of my 3 tips that I'm going to talk about today is they're all achievable. They're all things that you can do today that are massively going to help over a consistent period of time to increase your confidence. For somebody who isn't currently confident, I think having a certain level of confidence can often feel like such a long way away and such a difficult journey and thing to achieve that actually you don't really know what the first steps are to take in order to be able to progress and build that confidence. But hopefully after today's video you will. So my step number 1 in confidence is all about self-talk. So we are the most important person that speaks to ourselves. Believe it or not, we have 50,000 thoughts a day. And if you think about the thoughts, if you have thought about the thoughts that you have on a daily basis, I challenge you to think about how many of those are positive and how many of those are negative, and what kind of things are you saying to yourself, because the first layer and level of confidence comes from in here. It comes from our thoughts. The way that you speak to yourself on a daily basis directly correlates with how you feel, how you perform, and generally that level of confidence in those feelings and performance will come from more positive thoughts. We are the person in our own lives who is talking to ourselves the most, so in order to help build that confidence, what we need to be filling our minds and our thoughts, and we need to be talking to ourselves in a positive way. Now again, as somebody who has quite a negative self-talk, somebody who might talk to themselves in a not very nice way. You've heard of people saying they're a glass half empty person rather than a glass half full person. If you feel like you're on that side of the spectrum, again, it can feel quite daunting to think about how you can start to shift that self-talk to something more positive. From my perspective, I break it down into 3 things. The first one is removing the word don't, or trying to remove the word don't from your vocabulary and from your thoughts. Every time we say the word don't, the brain doesn't hear it. The brain just hears the doing word after the word don't. So if you're saying don't run, all the brain hears is the word run, which is often why when you tell children to not run, they continue to run. What we need to think about is what is the action we actually want from ourselves or from the people around us when we're saying the word don't. So in the example of don't run, the action that we actually want would be walk. So I want you to challenge yourself to start catching yourself saying the word don't and start changing it to the action that we want to either achieve personally, want the people around us to achieve, or it comes into our thoughts. Big ones that come into this. Don't forget. Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. How many times have you said don't forget and then you have proceeded to forget whatever it is that you are telling yourself not to forget? The brain only hears the doing word. In this case, it would be remember. Don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. Again, how many times do we say that? Don't spill that drink, don't fall, don't do this, don't do that. Our brain is programmed to only hear the thing that we're telling it to do, which is the action word. So catch yourself when you're saying the word don't, particularly to yourself, and this will massively help with turning that around, gaining that positive self-talk, and helping progress you on your journey to confidence. My other simple tips when it comes to speaking to yourself and how we do that on a daily basis, which is in turn going to massively help with confidence, is basically on a spectrum. What we want to do is we want to try and remove our negative self-talk, and we want to try and improve our positive self-talk. So the way that we talk to ourselves, if it's currently negative, we want to try and reduce that, and we want to try and increase the positive things that we say to ourselves. Now again, this can feel like a massively daunting task. My biggest piece of advice would be, the first thing to do is just catch it. So basically, every time you think a thought that's, you can't do this, or you're not good enough, or you are unworthy of whatever it is that you have currently got in your life, catch it. Think about it, ask yourself if it is true, and spin it. Those are my 3 things. Catch it, think about it, spin it. The thinking about it is a really, really powerful part in the middle, because quite often the things that we say to ourselves are subconscious, they're quick, and they're not often true. If you are saying something negative to yourself, be it out loud, and you can say it out loud to other people about yourself, be it in your thoughts, most of the time it isn't true. So catch that piece of negative self-talk, think about it, ask yourself is it true or not true, and depending on what the outcome of that is, spin it to something positive. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Okay, I've caught it. Think about it. Why do I think that? What is it that I'm doing? Have I shown potential in doing that thing before? Have I already done that thing? Can I do it? Spin it. No, actually, I'm really capable of doing this, and this is the evidence why. So what we also need to think about on the other side of that is being able to increase the positive self-talk in our thoughts and our minds and our vocabulary. There are many ways we can do that. The first one is obviously doing this process of catching, reviewing, and spinning anything that's negative from a self-talk perspective in our lives. The second thing I would constantly do is always sort of challenge yourself to look out for and see and value and acknowledge positive things that you do on a daily basis on your life. What are you really good at? What are the things that you are achieving? And actually think about those things and congratulate yourself for those things and be proud of those things. That is going to increase the level of positive self-talk that you are doing. The last thing you can do from that perspective is actually take part in some activities that mean that you are talking to yourself in a positive way. So that might be positive affirmations, that might be mantras, and spending some dedicated time doing that is going to massively help with positive self-talk. So overall, that's tip number 1, and actually trying to increase your positive self-talk, improve the way that you speak to yourself on a consistent basis is going to be a game changer for your confidence. Confidence starts within, and if we can start talking to ourselves in a really positive way, that is going to make us feel so much more comfortable in the situations that we are in and confident in our abilities. Tip numero 2 is to fake it till you make it. I'm sure we have all heard the phrase fake it until you make it. And I actually think there is some truth in that can massively help with your confidence. Now, there are some quite negative connotations, particularly around the word fake, and I don't want this to sort of trigger any sort of imposter syndrome, and that imposter syndrome is a real thing and people feel it. This isn't what I'm talking about with faking it until you make it. When I say fake it until you make it, I mean it sounds good, which is why I say it that way, but I'm thinking about a couple of things. I'm thinking about courage. I'm thinking about being brave, being bold, stepping outside of your comfort zone. And in that, being the person that you want to become. Doing the things that the person that you want to become would do. There is something so powerful for your confidence if you start to embody and do the things, have the attributes, carry out the actions of the person that you would like to become. If you want to become a #1 bookseller, what would somebody who is a #1 bookseller do? They would probably be spending a lot of time writing. They would probably be spending a lot of time researching. They would be spending time using their imagination. If that's the person that you want to become, think about the actions that they would do and start to see how you can build and implement the actions of that person into your day-to-day life. Who is the person that you want to be? What do they do? How do they act? What are the things they carry out? How can you put that in your day-to-day life? That is my definition of faking it until you make it. And when you start to take the steps to become that person that you want to be, by doing the things that they would do, your confidence is going to grow so much because you are proving to yourself that on a day-to-day basis, you can be the person that you want to be. That is where confidence is born. My last top tip for how to build your confidence that actually relates and follows through from the first two is doing the things you say you're going to do. This is something that is so simple and that I bang on about so much in a lot of my work, but it's so underrated. The number of people that say they're going to do something and don't do the things that they say they're going to do, or say they're not going to do something and do it anyway, is astounding. And actually that simple act of not doing the things that you say you're going to do psychologically can be massively detrimental for you. Every time you say you're going to do something and don't do it, you are basically building a pathway in your brain of letting yourself down and basically having empty words, empty promises, no follow through on what you're going to do. And if you do that on the little things in your life, be it snoozing your alarm, saying that you're going to be asleep by 10 o'clock and not going to bed till 11:30, that will massively follow through into the bigger areas of your life and the areas that you need confidence in. Because we're ingrained into ourselves that we don't do the things that we say we're going to do. You have this level of doubt and this level of contrast in your psychology all the time because your brain and the way that you behave is used to letting yourself down, is used to not following through. So when you do something that's going to require confidence, it's going to require hard work, your brain goes, actually, that's not what we do here. We say we're going to do something and then we don't actually do it. The same of that applies on the opposite. When you start to build those things, when you follow through on the tiny little things in life, getting up and getting straight on with your day when your alarm goes off, to having only one chocolate even though you want to have 3 chocolates, that's going to follow through into all of the deeper, more important areas of your life. There is nothing that builds confidence like knowing that when you say you're going to do something, you show up and do that. Because the bigger those things get, the more confident you're going to get with it, because you know as a person, hand on heart, that you follow through. You wouldn't let other people down if you said you were going to do something for them. Why? Again, similar to the self-talk, why are we letting ourselves down? Why are we talking to ourselves negatively? Why are we not doing the things that the person that we want to become does? And why are we not doing the things that we say we're going to do? Those are actually 3 actionable steps that don't relate directly to confidence in any way whatsoever. But if we're consistent in the way that we talk to ourselves, in the things that we do on a daily basis, and following through on the things that we say we're going to do, your confidence in your abilities in all areas of your life will massively increase. I hope this video has been useful. Everything that I've been talking about actually comes in week 5 of my program, Just Work On You. And Just Work On You is going to be 50% off for the whole of the Black Friday weekend. And that means it's £21. It's a 6-week program, that's 50 pence per day. And it's all going to be actionable steps that you can take, built off these principles that I've spoken about today, that are going to support you in becoming the best version of yourself. So check it out, set your calendars for Black Friday and get it for 50% off. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I thoroughly appreciate it. We are well on our way into daily content now and I'm very proud of everything that we've achieved so far. We'll see you in the next video. Keep smashing it, and remember, anything is possible if you just work. Bye!